There are like a lot of people, Adam, who believe that there are lizard people among us, that there are, quote, shape shifters among us. And it's very rare that you see them out themselves publicly, but I believe that's what happened on that airplane. Here's a clip from that documentary, which was about...
Okay, I'm gonna go here. What's crazier? Is it crazier for someone to believe in shape-shifting lizard people? Or is it crazier for someone like Megyn Kelly to react this way about people who believe in shape-shifting reptilian people? This and other videos are made possible by the generous support of TrueLove.com members. And as a thank you to all my members, Vlogmas will be starting November 30th. And for everyone else on YouTube, it starts December 1st. If you want the full experience and you want to be part of the member program, simply become a member, choose any level that's suitable for you, and go to the Vlogmas page and click on join. It's going to be a fun experience, so I hope to see you there. Here we are, part 4. I hope you've made it with me this far. I know it's a lot to take in, but I do think that this is really important, and I wouldn't be following it if it wasn't. Whenever I have been led to delve into something, I've always extracted something from it. So I'm going to move on now, and at the end I summarize my perspective on what's really going on here. This is allegedly inside her home, and I say allegedly because I do not believe she lives here. This home looks like a showroom or a set. It looks to me like a TV set. And I said before in a video I did on her some time ago that I did not believe she actually lived here for multiple reasons. First of all, putting myself in her shoes, if the Daily Mail released in the newspaper for all to see where I lived, I would be livid. I would be livid. She hasn't even mentioned it once. In all the times that she's had to talk about it, she hasn't said anything about how angry she is at the Daily Mail for exposing who she is and where she lives and her job, like everything. Like, what right do they have to do that? And then she did express that she was upset about them camping outside her house. This house looks immaculate. It looks like a set. It looks unlived in. Everything is in its proper place. Everything is pristine. Everything's brand new. Windows have no streaks on them. Floor has no dirt on it, no stains, no personal effects anywhere. No pens lying around, no papers, no photographs, nothing personal at all. It looks like a show house. It looks like a TV set. She did say blinds down and everything, but every time we see her house, the blinds are up. There's nothing in front of her windows. And yet she did say as well that the media was camped out outside her home, digging through her garbage. Well, when she appeared in the door, there were no curtains in front of the door, and the door is glass. It's a window. So the media can just see inside her house. I don't know. It's a little suspicious. So let's see what she has to say this time.
She's the woman dubbed Crazy Plane Lady after that epic plane meltdown seen round the world. Now in this Inside Edition exclusive, Tiffany Gomas is opening up about her freak out on the plane.
It was the worst moment of my entire life.
In the infamous...
So she's repeating that it was the worst moment of her entire life, but she does get a little bit more into the seriousness of it in this interview.
I stayed at home for over 4 weeks because I was so ashamed and so embarrassed, like I didn't want to go in public.
Now, for the first time, Gomas is explaining what happened on board the American Airlines flight from Dallas to Orlando.
Okay, so she says she stayed at home for over four weeks. Her flight was Independence Day weekend, and on the 6th, it went viral. She was on a cruise, so that was, 2 weeks on the cruise, I believe? Let's say it's even 1 week on a cruise. So that leads you to the middle of July. So she stayed at home for over 4 weeks. We're pushing it into mid to late August. Mid to late August for over 4 weeks. She was captured on camera outside LAX by TMZ late August. And in that interview we just covered on Pardon My Take, she said, I had flown several times before that. What did she just like do a day trip to Belize? Because when did she have time in what, like the week or two between that over 4 week period to getting caught by TMZ? When did she have time to travel to Belize and Sedona and then LA? To go from hiding for over 4 weeks to suddenly like hopping around, traveling at least 3 times is a little bit extreme. It's an extreme shift.
Says she was heading out to a family vacation when she just lost it.
What do you want to say to the people out there who are like, okay, this girl was drunk, this girl was on something?
I had an altercation and I felt very strongly that I needed to get off the plane.
According to
See, this is a little bit more of a serious take on it. On the other video, she's like, oh, I was in my feels. Like, she's not going to admit she was in her feels on an Inside Edition. And her facial expression's very, very serious this time. And kind of remorseful looking. Whereas on Pardon My Take, she's like, oh, the reason I didn't say anything probably is because, I didn't see anything. And I had an altercation, but I can't talk about it. And I was in my feels, and I just had bad energy. So, it's fine. You talk to one person and you say something different than you do when you talk to somebody you're more comfortable with. But she doesn't admit she was in her feels on Inside Edition.
To the police report, Gomas was arguing with a fellow passenger, accusing them of stealing her AirPods.
Thank you for mentioning the AirPods because they didn't mention them in the other interview.
The 39-year-old demanded the plane return to the gate, and it did. With her $1,900 designer handbag slung over her shoulder, she let loose.
Okay, so much is made out of this expensive handbag slung over her shoulder. This is not the only time it's been brought up. The media brings it up quite a bit to sort of paint the picture that she's this rich, spoiled brat, which she's kind of falling into that image. So if she has a $1,900 designer handbag, why is she traveling in coach? Why? She travels a lot. Why doesn't she have like a business class pass or something? I don't know. She has every right to travel whatever class she wants to. But again, I repeat, if you have an anxiety issue in which you are easily upset like she was by the energy of other people, why would you not do something to protect yourself from being placed next to some random person who could trigger you? Because guaranteed, if this is how she reacts in a situation like this, it's happened before. This could not possibly have been the first time that she's exploded like this at 39. I mean, I don't know. If she had said, I had a lot going on in my life at the time, and this was just sort of the straw that broke the camel's back, I'm not normally like this. She did say that it goes against her character. So she's saying that this isn't something that's happened to her on the plane before. But it doesn't have to have happened on a plane. It could have happened in a mall. It could have happened anywhere at all. But, sometimes people are not that self-aware, which is understandable.
$100 designer handbag slung over her shoulder, she let loose.
What did you really mean by that?
It was a figure of speech, like he's not being real.
Like when you say this person's fake or this person's not real, he's not quote unquote keeping it real. You weren't saying that this person is not a real person.
Yes.
Why did you think the people were in danger on the flight?
Just due to the altercation. I don't want to go into too much detail for legal reasons.
Despite
Okay, so here she actually says, for legal reasons. Why didn't she say that on the Pardon My Take interview? I mean, that would have been so easy just to say that. I can understand it's easy to get nervous. It's easy to sort of get all up in your head and confuse things while you're talking, lose train of thought. That's easy too, especially if you're not accustomed to being in that situation. You're not used to being interviewed. You're not used to all the attention. You're not very good at this sort of thing. I don't know what she has done in her job as marketing. There's a lot of different roles that she could have had, but it sounds like she was a rising star, so she had some kind of prominent role that led her to feel confident enough to run her own business. So if she's running her own business, she must be accustomed to making business pitches in order to get clients. You have to be very comfortable with speaking to people in public if that's the case. Maybe not large crowds, but this isn't a large crowd. This is one-on-one, but it is on camera. I can understand cameras make people feel nervous. She seems very comfortable in front of the camera. She was taking photographs, posting them on social media. She's doing the media circuit. If you're not comfortable with being on camera, many people are not, then you avoid it. She's not avoiding it. She's doing it. She's going after it. So even when she was talking on the podcast, she seemed very comfortable. Here she seems a little bit uncomfortable, kind of like being like a scolded child. She seems very sheepish. She seems kind of unsure of herself in a way, which is, again, very uncharacteristic of her when you look at her at the airport, like bad, like foul-mouthed, back-talking to the police. No concerns of any repercussions for anything she says or does. And then on Pardon My Take, she's kind of the same way, but very guarded in what she says, as opposed to the airport. She was not guarded in what she says. Here, she's even more guarded in what she says and appears to be very nervous.
Despite the worldwide attention she's received, Gomas says she's focusing on her marketing and real estate venture.
Okay, so she's focusing on her marketing and real estate ventures, which behavioral arts pointed this out, that this is inconsistent with what was said before in Pardon My Take. And she said, I'm not in marketing, but I am in marketing. I don't have a marketing business, but I do have a marketing business. So which is it? I don't know. Here she's saying she does have a marketing business. On her website she says she is in marketing. I don't know, whatever. Also, this office space, again, does not look lived in. The bookshelf is immaculate. There's no dirt on it or dust on it or dents in it, or it doesn't look used. Everything's brand new. Everything is brand new. And, she's a 39-year-old woman. She doesn't have anything from her youth, anything, no personal effects, nothing. I find that very hard to believe. Okay, so there are some people who are very minimalistic and don't collect stuff and don't take junk or anything, but people do have personal effects. It doesn't look lived in.
She gave me a tour of her.
This does not look like a lived-in home.
Stylish Dallas home.
This is where I spend most of my time.
Oh my gosh.
So she spends most of her time in the TV room. Again, no personal effects. This is the closest we get to personal effects, and even that's immaculate. All the carpet's freshly cleaned. You can see all the strokes from the vacuum cleaner. Also, this is the room where she did the video of the not reals watching that sports game. And saying that this is the room she spends most of her time in, the TV room, kind of suggests that she's all about TV image, that sort of thing. So then you had all of this knick-knack paraphernalia on the shelves. And here's another 2 fingers making the V sign, 2 in 1. And on the doors is the diamond pattern, the IXXI.
You have your own movie theater here.
It's pretty much that. I'm actually a big homebody, funny enough. I love to travel.
Many people in the comments have made fun of her for saying, I'm actually a big homebody. And then 2 seconds later, she says, I love to travel. There's nothing to say that she can't be both. You can be a homebody and love to travel. What bothers me about this is this kitchen is not used. There's no personal effects here in this kitchen. Again, the glass panels on the cupboard behind her, totally free of dust, smudges, fingerprints, anything, anything remotely resembling use. This kitchen is not used.
Luckily, I still can.
See the counter behind here, totally empty. There's no appliances, there's no coffee maker, there's no utensils, there's no dishes, there's no glasses, there's no stains on the counter. There's nothing that suggests that this house is lived in.
Just not on American.
Just not on American.
Yep.
See, even behind this guy, this counter's totally empty. There's something back here, but nothing suggests that it's actually used. This video was taken after the video that was recorded by Inside Edition inside her house. So now they are traveling with her. They're traveling with her on the plane. I find this strange. So in the Pardon My Take video, she says, what you did not see in the TMZ video was I was wearing baggy cargo pants. Are these the baggy cargo pants that she was referring to? Seems like it. And she's wearing a black tank top. So she's got her lazy fit going. But in this instance, she has her hair down.
Woman dubbed Crazy Plane Lady is back.
This is all staged and posed, by the way. You can tell she's posing for the camera.
Back at the airport 4 months after her epic airplane meltdown. Only Inside Edition was there as Tiffany Gomas arrived at Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, the exact airport where she freaked out.
I should be able to control my emotions, but I didn't in that moment. I was a brat. Like, I do want to address that. Like, I was a brat. I feel horrible for everyone that was on that plane.
Now, Tiffany Gomas is getting a do-over.
She admits she was a brat. I don't see how this is an apology to admit that she was a brat. It would be better if she explained why she was upset and why she said the things she did. She hasn't even explained why she chose to say that everyone on the plane was, she said it was a result of the altercation. But she can't explain what the altercation is. And something that she cannot discuss because she's in a lawsuit with the guy who isn't real. What could he possibly be suing her over? Seriously, what? What did she say to him that she's involved in a lawsuit over stolen AirPods? The TikTok lady said that she heard the guy say he was going to blow up the plane. I mean, that's kind of specific. It's not like, watch what you say, lady. We got a 2-hour flight and I'm going to torment you the entire way. That doesn't lead you to believe that he's going to take the plane down. And for her to say, when the plane blows up, that plane's not going to make it to Orlando, those are very specific things. It has to come from somewhere. I would imagine he's the one suing her, not the other way around.
She boarded her flight from Dallas to New York and went to her assigned seat without incident. Woo! During the flight, the 39-year-old sent emails and sipped her soda.
So why are we doing this? Why is it necessary that we follow Tiffany Gomas onto a plane and watch her fly properly, behave well? Is this proving that she knows how to behave herself on a plane now? This is sort of like babysitting. She's graduated and you can feel safe if she shows up on your flight now, so don't worry about seeing her on your flight because nothing's going to happen. It kind of feels that way. It's so bizarre.
Far cry from the meltdown seen around the world.
You get flashbacks when you're on the plane of that moment?
No, I try to block it out completely.
Yeah.
But she did poke fun at her airplane freakout, walking up the aisle, this time on her best behavior. In fact,
see, nobody on the plane isn't even looking at her. No. The only reason they were looking earlier was because the camera was on her when she was going down the aisle here, and this guy was sitting next to her. So I think this guy is part of the Inside Edition crew. Woo! But look, nobody's paying attention to her at all. not any one of the passengers. So yeah, it's kind of weird that she's on camera, but they're not even looking. So it's just odd. Anyway, at the end, she made it to New York.
All the way to New York.
Great, congratulations. This is the Megyn Kelly Show video I wanted to talk about because it is very similar to the tone of what was said in the PMT interview.
No one actually cares about this woman or this controversy whatsoever. It's just in good fun, but she's out.
No one actually cares about this woman or this controversy except for 450 million views. It's all in good fun. But she cares enough to make a whole video on it. She cares enough to talk about conspiracy heads going off the deep end. So somebody cares. Her being one of them. This guy being another one. Me being another one. And 450 million views also care. Okay, let's move past this.
There, and God bless those guys at Pardon My Take who managed to really kind of keep it going.
What? Okay. God bless those guys. Did she watch the interview? Did she really pay attention to what was being said? Did she even listen to the part where they said that they were friends of hers? Did she even see the hand holding that they did throughout the entire interview? Oh, it's okay. You were just, in your feels. It's not a big deal. It's just a bad moment. It's fine. Let's just forget about it. The reason she is giving them props is because she has the same message. Why would she have the same message? She's a woman, they're dudes. They're a totally different market. They have the same message because they're on the same team.
This woman is trying to spin herself into now a self-help guru who's...
I didn't see that. I didn't see anything about being a self-help guru. She didn't give any advice. She wasn't saying, hey, I'm now a life coach. You can contact me through TiffanyGomas.com or DM me on my tweets. She didn't say anything about being a self-help guru. So where does she get this?
She's going to help us all, I guess, with our, what to me is an obvious lizard people take, of shapeshifter take. That is 100% what I believe Tiffany was seeing or purporting to see on the...
Just because you believe she saw a shapeshifter does not mean she saw one. There's no evidence that she saw one. She never said she saw one. The only person who said she saw one was Matt Walsh, and he's also on your playing field. So now it's you and Matt Walsh are the ones who are saying that she saw a shapeshifter, reptilian. Where did this come from? This came from you. This came from you. Tiffany never said anything about shapeshifting. She never said anything about lizard people. And she never said anything about being a self-help guru. You're making stuff up, Megyn Kelly.
The plane, it's not real. But she's one of the people, this is why it's interesting, who I believe gets sucked in to the lunacy that's all over the internet about this narrative. Shape-shifting, lizard people. She's lost her grip with reality. I'm sorry, she's having a mental health issue, obviously. Hearts and prayers. However, what she said to those guys is not true. It doesn't match up with the facts. What do you make of it?
I do agree on this point that she is not matching up with the facts. But the whole lizard people thing is coming from you. It's not coming from anybody else. You. So where do you get the lizard people thing? Oh, thin air. Conspiracy thing. Somebody handed you a script and said, here, Megyn Kelly, you're going to talk about this today. Oh, okay.
I agree with that. Also, it's kind of curious. Her name is Tiffany Gomas, so she has...
I'm not going to include this. He agrees with her first. Then he goes on a random tangent about the oddity of her name having 2 nationalities. That's a first. How many Olivia Chows do you know?
Who don't fly without ingesting a few things, some edibles.
So his theory is that she's on drugs.
I think, because I think that would have been an easy thing to say, I'm such a dumbass. I took something because I'm a nervous flyer and it had a bad effect on me. I
agree with her. I agree that the theory that she was on something easily could have been admitted to. And she doesn't have to admit if she was super on something. She could have just said, listen, I usually take a little bit. I took a little too much. Was tripping. Thought I saw something. Kind of freaked out. Sorry. My bad. Overreacted. But she didn't say that. And a lot of the other things that she could have said instead of saying, I didn't see anything, she didn't say those things either. She had the opportunity to make something up that's better than I didn't see anything. I still think she's lying. Not lying that she didn't see anything, but she's lying about what happened. She's covering it up. Yeah, it's the truth that she didn't see anything. That's true. But she never said she saw something. But she's omitting what happened to cause her to be upset. That's what we really want to know. Not, did you see anything? We want to know what happened that caused you to be upset. And by diverting attention, diverting attention to what did you see, these interviewers that she chose to talk to are coached in what they can and cannot say, so they will craft the question so that she answers properly. They don't say, what caused you to be so upset? They did ask her, what did you fight over? She could have made up whole bunch of other excuses, but she didn't. So later on down the line, she can come back with another story and say, okay, lawsuit's done. I can now say what the altercation was about. Here you go.
Everybody would have been like, oh, poor thing. We would have been skeptical, but it at least would have made sense. She lives in $1 million home. She's got a nice job from what I hear. And I think I watched this documentary. I talked about this over the summer, once again, with the Ruth.
What does that have to do with being into reptilians? She's got $1 million home. She's got a nice job. I'm guessing where this is going is she doesn't want to ruin her reputation by telling people she saw a reptilian shapeshifter. A little bit too late for that, don't you think? Like, she totally ruined her reputation already. And the media junket that she's doing is making it worse. So even if she did come out and say, I saw a reptilian shapeshifter, I don't think she could do herself any more damage than she already has. If she wanted to seriously repair her image, there are other ways to go about it, like lying and saying I was tripping on some drugs, or I have a mental illness. I suffer from serious anxiety and didn't take my meds. Like, reasonable excuses that would have gotten her off the hook, put an end to all of it, and given her some empathy and, ended it all. But no, that's not where we're going with this.
Guys. And I was talking about this documentary called The Devil You Know, which I think was Amazon Prime, season 2. Amazing.
Just so you know where to go look for this documentary, it's on Amazon Prime season 2 called The Devil You Know. Shall I write that down for you? Would you like a link? How about I pay for your subscription? Because Megyn Kelly mentions this so that you can go and watch it. Hello? Are you paying attention?
Documentary about how people get sucked into. There are a lot of people, Adam, who believe that there are lizard people among us, that there are, quote, shape shifters among us. And it's very rare that you see them out themselves publicly, but I believe that's what happened on that airplane. Here's a clip from that documentary, which was about.
Okay, I'm gonna go here. What's crazier? Is it crazier for someone to believe in shape-shifting lizard people? Or is it crazier for someone like Megyn Kelly to react this way about people who believe in shape-shifting reptilian people? What do you care what other people believe? What does it matter? What does it matter if you believe that people have square heads? What does it matter? Obviously, it matters enough to Megyn Kelly to make a video on it. To make a point of showing you the documentary that features this lizard people thing. So, why would she do that? Well, it's on Amazon Prime season 2. She's doing it so that you ask the question, why would people believe there are lizard people among us? What is this lizard people thing she's talking about? I'm going to go and look into that because it's natural human curiosity to want to know more. And typically, with the experience that you have had with other conspiracy topics, most of those people would think, well, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm going to go check it out and laugh at them because that just sounds ridiculous. Some of them will mock and be closed-minded. Others will look at it and get sucked in and say, oh my gosh, they're right. There are lizard people. But she's bringing it to light. On one side, it's making fun of people by saying you're a conspiracy theorist if you believe this, 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 and this. On the other, it's showing you what you should look at, telling you the truth. Not that there are lizard people, which I'll get to in a minute.
About in part this radio broadcaster, Sherry Shriner, who pushed the nonsense to thousands of people who bought it. But watch this.
Sherry Shriner, SS.
The reptilians have been dominating Earth for the last hundreds of years, thousands. These aliens, they pose as humans so they can destroy the humans on Earth.
Aliens, reptilians. This is again connecting aliens to Tiffany Gomas. Now, I've talked about reptilians before. I will talk about it again now. Reptilians are not what you think they are. Reptilians, as you just saw, they connect them with aliens. Aliens means strange or foreign. Barbie means strange or foreign woman. Barbie is referring to the strange or foreign woman, which is Kundalini, the divine feminine. The Kundalini energy is referred to as the serpent energy. When the serpent energy rises, makes the Kundalini connection, you become a shining one. The shining ones are the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki are associated with reptilians. They are also associated with being aliens. This is where it all comes from. It has nothing to do with reptilian shape-shifting people.
It's freaky to me to think this woman's in a top-tier marketing job, I believe it is, has success in life. She could be sitting next to her on the airplane and she's looking around for the lizard people. This is the dark side of the internet. This is the dark side of no longer believing in the CDC, the WHO, the FBI, the DOJ, the court system, the cops, the presidency, the State Department, all of which are valid. I understand the skepticism about all those groups and share in it. But you start to go down this rabbit hole, and for too many, there's no bottom to it. The next thing you know, you're on a plane seeing lizard people. That's my belief about what really went down.
Conspiracy theories are a slippery slope, is what she's saying. This is the dark side of the internet, the dark side of conspiracy think. Well, she's very successful. This is crazy. How can somebody so successful have this in her head? She's so off her rocker that she thinks that there are reptilians and she's sitting there looking around trying to find the reptilians. Who cares? There are people who believe there are reptilian people around us. So what? Does it really matter? There are a lot of people around us who think a lot of things. It's like she's trying to make out that Tiffany Gomas or anybody who thinks that reptilian shapeshifters are real are dangerous. She's not saying it, but the way in which she painted the picture of Tiffany being a successful, good-looking woman who has a lot of money, who you would never expect would be thinking that people like this exist, who have conspiracy head, and you never know. You could be sitting right next to someone. Okay, so the irony of what she said. You could be sitting right next to someone who thinks that there are lizard people around, who's sitting there looking around for all the lizard people. So now you are going to be sitting there looking around for all the people who think that there are lizard people. So you're going to be behaving exactly like the conspiracy thinkers, right? Because if you sit next to somebody like this, it could be dangerous. What are they going to do? freak out and get off a plane? If this is the worst thing that could happen, what's so bad about that? I mean, yeah, it's inconvenient and annoying, but it's not like she shot somebody. A little bit ridiculous, a little bit extreme. And the way in which she's reacting to this is a little bit extreme. It's like, oh my goodness, can you believe it? Can you believe there are people like that you would never suspect think this? They really think this? She has no evidence that she thinks this. None. Not one iota of evidence. And yet she's totally gone off the deep end. She's doing exactly what she is accusing Tiffany of doing.
No, I agree. I think the most insidious, damaging chapter from that we just passed through is opening the window to skepticism for everything. And I used to make fun of conspiracy theorists all the time. I really can't anymore.
It's very strange how he changes his tune from like not agreeing with her, thinking that Tiffany was on drugs, to agreeing with her that this is accurate. Like, God, this is another mind fuck. Okay, so he's contradicting himself at the same time. On one hand, he's saying, I can't call conspiracy people crazy anymore after what happened in 2020. But if you go as far as to jump off the deep end and think there are lizard people, I can't go that far. I can't back you. How can you say on one hand that you used to call conspiracy people crazy, but you can't anymore, and then go and call people crazy for believing in a so-called conspiracy about lizard people? The other thing is, he says you can only go so far. You can question 2020, but you can't question everything. No, 2020 was there so that you do question everything. It was a wake-up call for you to take a look around. If they're lying about this, then they can't be telling the truth about everything else, can they? No, it's just 2020. Like, contradicting himself just in everything he's saying. In line with the reptilian thing being crazy, don't go there, but at the same time mentioning it. This is what I'm talking about, the speaking out of both sides of their mouths, dual layers to what's going on here. So if all you're seeing is they're lying to us and this is a deception, you're not seeing the other side of it. The other side of it is at the same time they are telling you the truth. So stop looking at the deception and start looking at the truth. They're both there at the same time.
It leaves the window open to keep going down a conspiracy theory path. Now, I'm not going to keep going down that path. I'm not a flat earther or the who took down the Twin Towers or any of that, but it does open the window. And this is the problem. Or when they won't give you the information or the data or the statistics, or they lie to you, you start going, what the heck's going on there? And people that are less pragmatic than you and I go much further down that path.
Here he mentions the flat earth and the took down the Twin Towers, which I'm shocked he went that far. I am shocked. Not only do they bring up flat earth reptilians, but they bring up the Twin Towers and the unmentionables. So what is actually going on here? Like, why would he... They're trying to wake you up, you know. On one side of it, they're saying, don't look at this, but we're going to tell you at the same time, look at this. You remember in Don't Worry, Darling? If you have not seen Don't Worry, Darling, you must see this movie and watch my multiple videos on decoding the movie. It is a perfect movie about our reality. Frank is a perfect representation of this, where he presents multi-leveled messaging. On one face of it, he is this loving, caring man who created this perfect place for these people to live in. On another level, he's perceived as the man who trapped them all there. And he's feeding them lies and tormenting Alice. But on an under level, he's provoking Alice to wake up, provoking her and challenging her to see the truth. That's the truth. The truth of who he really is there to provoke her into awakening to get out. So that's what these people are doing. That's what Tiffany Gomas is doing. She's multi-layered too. She is like a Trojan horse. On the outside, she appears to be this beautiful, perfect lady. Not as classy on the inside as she looks like she is on the outside. And we really saw that come out when she was the woman on the plane. That side of her, this, you can't tell me what to do. I'm not listening to you. I don't give a if you are a police officer. You can't order me around. Throwing F-bombs, yelling whatever she cares, like whatever she wants to say, she says it. She gets off the plane regardless of all the other people. She's like, I'm doing what I want to do and screw everybody else. I don't care. This is my life and you can't tell me what to do. On one hand, there's a lot to be admired about that. On another hand, you can perceive it as being a bratty, spoiled rich girl, which she's now kind of coming off as. So that to me is the real Tiffany. This like prima donna, coiffed, put together, pretentious, spoiled rich girl, hiding what she has to say, watching her words, being carefully crafted, trying to appeal to the guys. That's fake. This, woman who speaks her mind and does what she wants and doesn't wear any makeup and is in her lazy fit. This woman is raw. This woman is rebellious. This woman is true to herself. The other Tiffany is a liar. The other Tiffany is deceptive. The other Tiffany is faking it. Everything on her external is fake. So all of this is, like I said, a reaction of the ego, the patriarchy, the ego protecting itself, not wanting people to see the truth, not wanting the divine feminine to rise up, silencing her. So what I mean by a Trojan horse is that she looks like a present on the outside, but inside is the truth. The truth is that she is trying to wake up the people. She's trying to wake up anybody who's interested in her story, specifically targeting men, because she's the divine feminine and she's sent to disrupt the men or the ego, the patriarchy. So here we are, Tiffany Gomas on Twitter. She is wearing a hat that says just cover, which is very similar to dodge. Dodge and cover, don't say anything. And it is a Pardon My Take hat, which she is promoting at 20% off. And if she's a savvy business person and a smart marketer, she would not be promoting Pardon My Take for free. Also, most of these posts are sports related, which goes hand in hand with her image and profile that she's a sports girl. But I find it kind of superficial. I find it kind of like it's part of her image that she wants to give off, that she's a guy's girl. Not that it's genuine. I mean, she might think that she genuinely likes sports, but I don't think it is genuine. She seems to like sports to appeal to men, just like a Budweiser girl. It comes off as cheerleader, Budweiser girl, and those types of girls, they're not typically genuinely interested in sports. They're typically interested in athletes. This jersey is orange. Orange is 33 in numerology, gematria. 33 is Christ consciousness. CC 33, top of the spine. 5 is Phi is life. Phi is Venus. Home is where the heart is. These V's and devil horns are signifying the brain. It's all to do with the brain. Here she's promoting her ugly sweater, and it says that the sweatshirt is selling like crazy. Of course it's selling like crazy because everything about her is crazy. She is on top of the world, and she's on a plane wearing green. Green is for heart, and she's got the V on both hands. The sun over her head because she's illuminated. She's Christed, anointed, kinged, wearing the crown. And V for Venus, V for vendetta, V for victory. And TMFINR. TM stands for time, and FIN means end. End time. It's the end of time for reality. So she was on the Fan, which is a radio station for sports yet again. And now she wants to drop the crazy, whereas the other interview with PMS, she didn't care about dropping the crazy. This show is, like I said, a radio station for sports. Again, it sounds exactly the same as PMT.
Sean, it is your birthday. Can I get the hand?
Oh, yeah, the hand measurement.
Why would I want to do something embarrassing to me?
It's not embarrassing. It's not embarrassing.
I'll probably have smaller hands.
I don't
My
know
nails
that,
might be longer.
We got to see it on the fan cam. Can you just walk over to his chair over there?
All right, Ryan, go ahead, zoom in. I have small hands. As they're
all right, let's see how close it is.
Oh no!
No, put it up, please.
She's like, oh no!
Oh my God! They're like equal. I might have you beat barely by a cuticle.
My nails are longer.
That's real right there, Sean.
What the hell? Here we have somebody who has, the secret knowledge for what we want to know, and she comes on your show. And then you put out a clip promoting her, and this is what you choose to highlight. Her hand is bigger than his. Oh my God. This is so stupid, so base. This is the video that I was referring to when I said that she can't act, because she can't read from a script. So I will show you a little bit of this just to show you what I'm talking about.
Who better to give crazy Dallas news than the crazy plane lady herself?
That motherfucker back there is not real.
All right, what's up, Dallas? Here's what you guys missed this week. So the new pedestrian bridge just opened on 75, and someone already tried to drive on it.
Yeah, that's for walking, not driving.
Tiffany, what kind of car do you drive?
A BMW M8 is a fast girl.
See, this is what I'm talking about. She likes fast cars and sports. We have yet to hear a single thing from her about what she likes that is not geared towards men. Aside from travel, this is why I think it's fake.
The Cowboys just beat the Panthers. We are now 7-3, and it is up.
Go Cowboys!
This is the mark of somebody who's not particularly comfortable being on camera, is reading a script, can't make it sound natural, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not criticizing, I'm just making a point that she's not a seasoned actor. She's not a skilled actor. She's not skilled at doing this, which is why the event on the plane seems genuine. And you could put somebody who is a bad actor into a crafted scenario and have them react naturally, even react the way you want them to. This is prime evidence that she's not a skilled actor.
Woo! Woo! All right, who's your favorite player, Tiffany?
Parsons, for sure.
Michael the Monster.
Up the middle, Young in trouble, and Micah Parsons gets him down.
So her favorite is Parsons, number 11, the Twin Pillars.
We play the Commanders this Thursday on Thanksgiving Day.
Don't you mean the Redskins?
Who knows? They might change their name again.
We get to see our girl, Dolly Parton, perform the halftime show.
Yeah, like the way she talks, we have to see our girl. It's all very sports-oriented, hip-hop-oriented, cars, men. It's all men-oriented. And here we see her in her house wearing a Parsons jersey and 3 men wearing her sweater.
Are you dating Hank from Barstool?
Okay, so there's a theme here of what these interviewers focus on. They focus on her as a female and the dirty internet men who are hot for her. And now they're taking the guy from PMT saying he's dating her because he took her to a football game. They're giving us the impression as the audience that the only people who are interested in her are these horny internet dudes. If those are the only people who are interested in her story, why is she playing it up? Why does she just go to these types of media outlets? Okay, yes, there was the Inside Edition where she was very serious and somewhat borderline remorseful. And then there was CBS or whatever that news outlet was that she appeared on for about 30 seconds. but the bulk of her appearances have been sports oriented, all because it's appealing to that crowd of guy. I don't know. If I was trying to be taken seriously, I kind of don't want to go where all the sleazy internet dudes are. I want to talk to the other people who want to hear what I have to say and who will take my perspective seriously. Instead, she chooses to focus her attention on the sleazy internet dudes. Look at this. Look at this insanity, stupidity.
That MFer might not be real, but you know what is real? Alex's love for you.
I mean, this is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I mean, she looks embarrassed. The guy's standing there in his underwear singing a song about this person being in love with her because all they care about is, oh, you're so hot. I just want to be with you and be close to you. Oh my God, I'm so lucky. Tiffany Gomas was completely unprepared for her appearance on Primetime with the Content Machine, known as Alex Stein 99.
I gotta think she knows what she's doing in a sense, but then again, maybe she doesn't. Maybe she has no damn clue what she's doing because, like you said, some of these decisions are a little crazy.
I don't know about you, but when I saw this first out of the corner of my eye without actually reading it, it looked like big tits. Because that's really what it's saying. It's not actually Tig's bits. It's a play on words.
Like going on Alex Stein's show today. Not
understanding it.
You got to know what you're getting into. Like, you're getting into a complete shit show. What all was happening?
Man, I mean, it starts off, she's really kind of thrown, taken aback. He's got like rose petals in her dressing room, and he gives her a rose when she gets there. He goes in, tells her he loves her, and really hoping by the end of the night, they can work on marriage. And like, she's kind of like, oh, wait, this is a little.
Look at this, is embarrassing, and it's really uncomfortable. If this is legitimate, consider this for a second. This woman comes on your show, and you are the host of whatever kind of show this is. I don't know. Never heard of it before. But you invite this woman on your show as a guest, and this is how you behave. Not only is it unprofessional, it is uncomfortable for her as a guest, as a female, to be put in this position where a guy is like romancing her when she's supposed to be talking to you about her situation. If we're thinking about her seriously, this woman is coming to talk about her situation, what she experienced and what she went through on the plane. And this guy is treating it like a joke from the get-go, putting her in an uncomfortable position. Basically, this is some form of sexual harassment because he's not treating her like a person. He's treating her like a sex object. He's treating her like she doesn't have any say. He's putting her on the spot in a public situation because she's on camera. So she's forced to be nice, because if she freaked out on him and she said, hey, like, what are you doing? I'm here to be interviewed, not to be preyed upon. But now she's put herself in this uncomfortable, vulnerable position where she's not allowed to say anything. Again, prime example of men silencing the divine feminine because she is there to speak. And this is how they treat her. This is how the men treat her. This is just disgusting behavior. Even in the consideration of this not being a real thing, this being a staged production. I don't care whether it's real, whether it's fake, whether it's staged or any of it. I don't care. Just as something that happened. Just as something that this guy feels he's entitled to do to another person, to a woman who comes on his show. I'm appalled. I am appalled that you think that this is acceptable. I mean, look how uncomfortable she is.
rushed, like whoa, but it keeps going, and then they play a game whether is this real or fake, and they're showing all the while having this green alien dude walk behind the stage that nobody else acts like it's actually there, and she keeps going, I'm so distracted by whatever this is, and they're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I do not see it, and she looks to surf. She was like, oh my God, I'm sweating. She was like, this is so bizarre. I don't know what's going on here.
As if she's sweating because she's uncomfortable.
Oh, Lord. Wow.
He had her really, really frazzled. But, at the same time, she is cool that she is able to make fun of herself, but she had no idea tonight on that show what she was getting involved in. And I was watching some of the comments on YouTube. They're like, oh, my God. Yeah, she was not ready for this in any capacity.
Oh, wow.
But Alex didn't pull up, man. He just kept hammering down. I mean, he tried to get her to do a shake weight. He wanted her to do a shake weight. He was like, I got a shake weight here. And she was like, what is that? I mean, why? And it's like, we do shake weights all the time around here. It's like he was trying everything, just trying to get her to run with something, and she wasn't having anything.
He was that dude. Man, he has balls of steel. Number one, I mean, just that, and he's crazy. He's also hilarious, and he's just, man, that dude knows how to get a bit. He knows how to get content. He knows how to get you. He's basically like the paparazzi. I mean, there's no real.
How did she not know what she was getting into? Seriously, how come she doesn't have somebody managing her interviews? Are you trying to tell me that she has her website set up to field inquiries from the media and she's doing that herself? And if she's picking and choosing who she goes to interview with, she chooses idiots like this, and yet she shows up and she's like, I don't know what I got into here. What is this? Wouldn't you watch an episode of the show to find out what you're getting into? Some people are just ignorant, and they're just so flattered to be invited, so flattered to have someone who wants to talk to them, and they go on to get a lot of exposure because they have something to share. These people are willing to talk to them, but then they don't realize they're walking into the lion's den, and those people are there to shame them, out them, expose them, make them look like an idiot, whatever their agenda is. You have to be very careful about who you talk to. But she just said, I don't have PR experience, and she's in this unusual experience, and she's got millions of dollars. She's not a celebrity. She doesn't have a PR team. Wouldn't you think she'd hire one? Hire somebody. You're a viral personality now. Don't put yourself in this position. I don't know. I find it hard to believe that she just went on this show randomly, didn't look at it before she went on, and agrees to every interview. Why? Just because it's a sports-related show? I don't get it.
Tell me this, so do you still fly American Airlines?
No.
Yeah. Feet Finders, what is that? $100,000. Tiffany Gomas. What is that for?
Yeah, because you're pissed. I would be pissed off at him too.
No, I'm not pissed. I'm banned from American
Airlines. No! Are you serious? From AA?
Yes. It's very inconvenient, but yes.
That is, but their prices, well, at least Spirit Airlines, you can figure out.
I don't know.
Well, if you would have done that on Spirit Airlines, it would have just been a Tuesday. Nobody would have even known. That happens. I was on a Spirit Airlines flight, and I saw a guy literally injecting fentanyl. But tell me.
Okay, so she's banned from flying on American Airlines, and she didn't even care. She said to the flight attendant, we're going to ban you. And she's like, I don't care if I never fly you again. I'm never going on your plane again. Why? Why to that extreme over AirPods, over being in your feels? Look at this.
Biggest moment of my life, Tiffany. I present you with this rose. Tiffany, you have to take it. Oh my God, thank you so much. Guys, watch the show tonight. It's going to go super viral. She is real. We didn't want to, spare any expense, so we rolled out the red carpet, we got the flowers. All the Monster energies you can drink. If you want Doritos.
Yeah, okay, on one level it's funny, but it's unprofessional. It's uncomfortable. It's putting somebody in an awkward position. It's sexual harassment is what it is. And to put somebody in this uncomfortable position is disrespectful. Regardless of the situation. Yeah, you're a funny guy or whatever, but this is still wrong. Oh my gosh, she doesn't look like herself again because this is all airbrushed from Photoshop, which is a computer program. So she looks like, oh my gosh, computer generated. So here's her photo shoot. What is the point of this? Look what it says here. Mind blown. Mind blown. Oppenheimer. Like, more sports. Oh, wait. What is that? It's an 88. So 2-5 and an 88. 2 5s is Omega, the head, and 88 is the Kundalini connection. Out of time. And here we are showing her with all the guys by herself playing basketball. She's not terrible, but you can tell she doesn't play basketball. Here again, you got her reacting like a sports fan, like a guy. She's acting like a dude. November 2nd, this post came out after Halloween. I'm the stranger you lock eyes with at the airport and imagine a life together. TMFINR, best life, fashion via our very cold pizza. I'm not big on Twitter, so I don't really know what this via stuff is. But the very cold pizza is kind of weird. And then she's got eyes, heart, earth. So her sitting here on a chair, it's a black chair, dressed in black, reclining. This is about the divine feminine, all in black, sitting in her throne, dominant. This is a very odd kind of thing to post for someone, A, laying low, B, not interested in capitalizing on it, and C, not a marketing person. So this was the Halloween thing. Look, Bite Pizza, Big Bite Pizza, 7-Eleven. So pizza again, 7-Eleven is another form of 9/11 with 911 IXXI. Big Bite Pizza. The pizza is the pie, the circular disc, the piano. It's the zodiac wheel. Yeah, so I wanted to point out this Halloween costume contest that she was having, which in itself is bizarre. But the reason I wanted to point it out is because she's referring to this post from somewhere else that says, costume ideas for 2023 that aren't Barbie or Oppenheimer, the not real plain woman. And it mentions Barbie and Oppenheimer on purpose. It's connecting the plain lady to Barbie and Oppenheimer, which solidifies my point that it is about the Barbie and Oppenheimer story. It's the same story. So the media is pointing out to you that you should connect plain lady's story to Barbie and Oppenheimer. This is why they do this sort of thing.
I want to see your best rendition of this fit, and then I will choose 3 of my favorite lookalikes, and then we will all choose a winner, and the winner will then receive 2 first-class tickets either on Delta, United, or priority passes on Southwest. So show me what you've got.
By her own admission, she says she hasn't made any money off of these media circuits she's been doing. So this is coming out of her own pocket. Here's her Instagram. This guy is the guy from Inside Edition, the whole crew, and making fun of her pointing with 2 fingers. Look, absolutely not the girl from the plane. Digital footprint is fake, tracking back to DC. There's a guy who put out that stuff and it was misleading and false, and it's not tracking to DC. Someone in my live chats pointed out that Tiffany had posted this in her Instagram stories, and it is another cryptic post. Deliberate. So all of these photographs, images, everything she does is deliberate. Everything she does is coded. What I see in the image is the figure is the phantom. Phantom is Tiffany. This phantom figure is behind the window, which is the glass, but it's also cubed. So this is the cubed consciousness, and the figure being the phantom, all in black, is the divine feminine. It's wearing a mask. You can't tell who it is. The mask is very similar to, say, V for Vendetta, and V for Vendetta was about Guy Fawkes Day, blowing up the Houses of Parliament, which is the explosion in the head, the atomic explosion in the head, which is Oppenheimer. The two shrubs in the front and the phantom is in the middle, could be representing the middle pillar. Everything's black and white for the duality. The caption is, "It's that time again." It doesn't say it's that time of year again. It says it's that time again. Again, we go back to TMFINR, the end of time, or the end of real time, or the end of time for reality. You know, to the casual observer, it's Halloween again. But what she's actually saying is it's that time in which what's happening in the image happens again. So you could say that the phantom being the divine feminine, has risen and it's out of the coffin. Coffin sounds like coughing or cough, QOPH, which is the letter Q in Hebrew. Q as a symbol is also phi, which is the 0 and the 1 connected, which is the creation of the universe. So the image of what was in the woman's hair in the Matthew Perry video I did, that is also a Q or phi symbol. It signifies the unification of male and female, which is the end and the beginning. Q also means to stand in line. To stand in line is to be in formation. Information is truth. It's also following the leader or doing what one's told, staying in form, staying in formation, and staying in the box. Don't get out of the box. So she's out of the box, but she's also behind glass, still in the cube. The coffin is upright outside, and the figure is inside in the glass in the house. The house is the zodiac. The figure is separate from the coffin, so it's not where it's supposed to be. So to me, like, that time again is about reincarnation, or it's the end and the beginning of the story, which again goes back to Q or cough or coffin, reincarnation, and it ties back to Matthew Perry. Her messages are very cryptic and very similar to the style of the images that Matthew Perry was posting. So to me, what she means by it's that time again, that time is the time when the spirit leaves the body in the coffin, the physical world, and finds itself in the cube of time-space. If you haven't found your way out, you reincarnate, so you repeat time again. So it's that time again. Coincidentally, Halloween was when Matthew Perry died. So she was leaving this message before Halloween, and Matthew Perry died a few days before Halloween. There were a few words in that interview on PMT that stood out to me that I kind of pointed out at the time, which was altercation, in my feels, distressed, not a good look. Altercation is a very formal and kind of legal term for argument or quarrel, so it's kind of strange that she used that word deliberately many times. She never changed from that word. So alter in the etymology means the other. Usually when you say the other, such as like the other ones or the other side, it refers to something other than yourself, kind of like the coffin picture. The other is the phantom or the ghost in the box, that sort of thing. The al in alter means beyond, as in the other side. And it connects nicely with my explanation of what she saw was the man from the other side, or Tom Cowling, the man in the green hoodie. Again, this is not literal, but allegorical, because she did not literally see a man in a green hoodie. But it was connected in the story that people were saying about this story. She saw the other side, meaning the other plane of existence, or the masculine. And alter, or al, is also connected to alien. And I have covered that in another video regarding Tiffany as well as Barbie, the Barbenheimer video. She also says she was in her feels, in my feels. She's 39, and it's kind of an odd thing for a 39-year-old to say I was in my feels. But it's kind of fitting with the lingo she's using to appeal to the sports guy. But to me, what this is sort of referring to is being in the five senses, which is the lower carnal mind. Distressed means to be pulled apart. That ties again with the story of the divine masculine and feminine being torn apart to be reunited. And it connects with Elevate, which was the same as her marketing company. She uses the term not a good look, which was a slogan on her website, "We make you look good." And yet she failed to do this for herself on the plane, and now she's looking even worse. And so all of this is about appearances, but she's not fooling anybody. So why is she so worried about appearances but not doing anything to make herself look better? Overall, her entire media campaign that she's on right now, following the previous 4 months, seems to be an overt attempt at making the viewer or the person who's interested in her story look crazy. You're the crazy one, not her. They're downplaying her explosive behavior and minimizing it and silencing her. So there's an aspect of, I want to say, but I can't. I'm silenced. She goes on these radio shows, these talk shows, all geared towards the man. As I said, it's something of a Trojan horse. She looks pretty on the outside. Here's your pretty little gift. But on the inside is the army that are going to take down the patriarchy and the ego and the male aspect that is dominant in a toxic way. And this is why she is doing the rounds on all of these toxic, male, sports-oriented, the bottom of the media pile, in my opinion. These are not intellectuals. These are not in any way sophisticated interviews that she's conducting. She can't possibly think she's going to be taken seriously going on these shows. But then she's also appearing on Inside Edition, which again isn't real. It's not a serious interview. It's an entertainment show. She's not talking directly to someone like Megyn Kelly or Matt Walsh or, any Daily Mail even. Why wouldn't she talk to Daily Mail? It just seems like she's not expecting to be taken seriously. She doesn't care if she's taken seriously because she's specifically there to address the toxic masculine. That's who she's targeting. That's who she's speaking to. That's what the whole campaign is about, is them. And the reason she's targeting that is because she represents the divine feminine in its dualistic aspect of the Madonna and the whore. I've already shown how she represents both. She has merged the two at some point. What I do find kind of strange about her reappearance in the media circuit is when she was seen at the airport in LAX by TMZ, she was standing by the doors under the green exit, having merged the two images of herself, plain lady look with apology lady. She's standing there, but we never see her leave, so we don't know exactly what door she took. Then she comes out with the Halloween photo, which suggests she reincarnated instead of taking the green exit. She could have taken the green exit, but she chose not to. So this is another indicator that she's come back. It's that time again. She's reincarnated. She's done the time loop all over again, just like at the end of Westworld, when Dolores chooses just to do one last loop around the bend. Dolores had the opportunity to choose to exit, and she chose not to, because she believes that she can save the others. The others being altercation. I had an altercation over ear pods. So in my breakdown of her previously, the ear pods represent the people who have the potential to awaken but have yet to awaken. So she is staying behind to help those people awaken. And here she is doing the rounds on all the toxic masculine media outlets. The agenda here is that she is kind of like a Trojan horse, it's kind of like the atomic bomb. They build that thing with the idea that it's going to help bring people together because of the threat of it, and now it's pulling people apart, distressed. Oppenheimer built the atomic bomb in the hopes that it would bring peace. The idea was that the threat of it was enough to say, okay, we'll put our weapons down and we won't fight anymore. But what happened was they went to the level where they needed to actually unleash the weapon. They needed to use it. Tiffany is the weapon. She's being used now. And when they used it, the people who were in power, the male dominant ego, President Truman and the American government and other governments, they decided that they were not going to lay down their weapons. They weren't going to have peace. They wanted to build more weapons. So it didn't lead to the outcome Oppenheimer was hoping for, and it demonized him. They needed an out. So they made him the scapegoat. He was the bad guy now, which forced him to go underground, forced him to play the martyr. If you haven't seen my Oppenheimer Decode, it's on my website. Highly recommend it. You can see a trailer of it, which will give you an idea of what it's about. This is how I interpret what's going on here, is that she is the secret weapon. She is the divine feminine. She is planted to disturb and disrupt the masculine, the toxic masculine. And all of this is about waking up the people, because everything is about waking up the people. So I'll be very interested to see where this goes next. It's not over. I think that this will ultimately lead to her saying, the lawsuit is over. I can now say what the altercation was over, and there will be some sort of twist in the story. This, I didn't see anything nonsense, does not match up. And I don't think that she did see anything. I think she's telling the truth. I think that there was something else to the story that she will expose. I don't think she is just an ordinary person or a regular person who is a victim of this situation, but it's all part of the play. And yeah, that's basically all I have to say on this story to date. I hope you enjoyed this sort of series within a series, and you'll join me for Vlogmas. All right, thanks everybody. Bye for now.